Welcome to Motoring Today, the Philippines' premier and longest running weekly motoring news and features TV and online magazine. I'm Ray Louis Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Here are this week's features to watch out for.
On Motoring Forum, we shall discuss the effects of lifting the safeguard duties on imported vehicles to the auto industry. Our road safety reminder on the Yonge Street Smarts portion centers on the proper way to cross a street after alighting from a vehicle. This week's Payong Tupero shall be about the importance of respecting pedestrians. The public service segment centers on continuous reports on efficiencies of PMVICs. Showcase this week shall have the subcompact sedan from Toyota, the Vios 1.5G CVT.
All these plus the latest news in transportation and traffic management, as well as developments in the automotive industry, are on this week's edition of Motoring Today. Join us.
I think my dad is secretly a superhero. He's the coolest, smartest, strongest person alive. No matter where we go, he always makes sure I feel safe. And he isn't afraid of anything. My dad likes to call that the power to lead. I call it his superpower.
Be part of the 2021-2022 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2021, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2021-2022 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate, standard, and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2021. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Live extra
with the Mitsubishi Xpander Cross.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. Here now are the latest news and developments in the country's transportation and traffic management. The IATF has eased community quarantine restrictions somewhat in the National Capital Region, Laguna, and Bataan. Transport safety protocols, however, will remain strict.
The Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases, the IATF for short, has placed Metro Manila, Laguna, and Bataan under Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine or MECQ until August 31. Even with restrictions eased and with more businesses, trades, and services expected to be allowed to reopen, the DOTR said the supply of public land transport will not change, and PUVs and jeepneys will continue to operate at half capacity. Buses and jeepneys must also observe the one-seat apart rule. There will also be no standing policy on buses, and only one passenger will be allowed to seat on the driver's row. Motorcycle taxis and transport network vehicle service units will also continue to be allowed to pick up passengers. The PNR, LRT1, LRT2, and MRT3 will be operating during the MECQ period, with train marshals deployed to ensure only APORs or authorized persons outside residence are taking the trains and that strict health and safety protocols are enforced. The DOTR also reminds everyone, both commuters and transport operators, to follow these 7 commandments for public transport.
With cases still rising, commuters should also take responsibility for ensuring everyone is complying with health protocols on public transport. APORs will continue to get free rides on trains even under MECQ.
Following the IATF announcement of the National Capital Region being placed under MECQ, Transport Secretary Art Togade assured authorized persons outside residence or APORs that they can still avail themselves of free train rides. Vaccinated APORs can continue to ride on LRT2 and PNR trains for free at off-peak hours, Secretary Togade said. Meanwhile, APORs who have been vaccinated can take the MRT3 for free even during peak hours. The Transport Secretary reminded APORs to be ready to show proof of vaccination to be able to ride the trains for free. The free ride program aims to encourage more APORs to get vaccinated, especially now that new and more transmissible variants of COVID-19 are emerging, according to Secretary Togade. He also revealed that free rides on trains for APORs could be extended beyond August 31. Any further extension will be re-evaluated following any change in quarantine status in Metro Manila and the operational requirements of the rail line, said DOTR.
Vaccination efforts should really be fast-tracked, and incentives like giving APORs free rides on public transport should help in this. The LTFRB has come out with its own report regarding the COA's findings on the service contracting program posted on its website.
The LTFRB reports that as of June 30, 2021, it has released around 1.5 billion pesos to beneficiary drivers, as well as to funding the systems manager responsible for the development and management of the Service Contracting Program, or SCP. The SCP was implemented to help public transportation operators and drivers overcome the effects of the pandemic by giving them cash incentives or subsidies to continue operating, even with reduced capacity to comply with social distancing protocols. The LTFRB came out with a press statement on the progress of the SCP following news about a Commission on Audit or COA report that said the agency only utilized 1% of the allocated 5.56 billion peso allocation for the program. The LTFRB pointed out that the COA report only covered data up to December 2020. It said that funds for the SCP were only downloaded to the LTFRB in November 2020, just a month before a memorandum of agreement related to the program was signed between LTFRB and Land Bank of the Philippines. The LTFRB-LBP agreement details how the SCP cash subsidies would be distributed to eligible beneficiaries of different modes of public land transportation. It added that before funds are distributed to eligible drivers and transport operators, they are required to complete the orientation and to submit all necessary documents. The LTFRB reported that initial payouts of 4,000 pesos were provided to 23,410 drivers. One-time onboarding incentives of 25,000 pesos were provided to 8,461 drivers. One-time onboarding incentives of 20,000 pesos were provided to 702 drivers, and 18,864 drivers received their weekly payout. The LTFRB says it is now closely coordinating with the Department of Budget and Management for the release of funds amounting to 3.3 billion pesos for the SCP.
The LTFRB's report on the SCP's progress shows drivers and operators are benefiting from the subsidies. With the way the COVID-19 pandemic continues to affect communities and public transportation, drivers and operators need subsidies in order to provide adequate and safe public transport amid the pandemic. Those are the latest news and developments in transportation and traffic management. Coming up next is Motoring Forum, brought to you by Suzuki Philippines. The Department of Trade and Industry has decided not to implement safeguard duties on vehicle imports. Motoring Forum discusses how the department came to this decision and its possible effects on the automotive industry.
Back in February of this year, the Bureau of Customs began implementing provisional safeguard duties in the form of a cash bond amounting to 70,000 pesos on imported passenger cars and 10,000 pesos on imported light commercial vehicles. This was after the Department of Trade and Industry, or DTI, determined that the petition filed by the Philippine Metal Workers Alliance seeking to protect the domestic motor vehicle manufacturing industry from a surge in imported vehicles warranted the imposition of provisional safeguard duties. Back then, DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez said a delay in the imposition of safeguard duties in the form of cash bond could cause substantial injury to the local auto assemblers. The provisional safeguard measure was to take effect for 200 days from the issuance of an order by the Commissioner of Customs. Meanwhile, the Tariff Commission was to formally investigate if the safeguard measure was truly warranted. Local automotive companies took the safeguard duty or cash bond in stride, incorporating them into suggested retail prices while assuring buyers these would be returned if the Tariff Commission decided against its imposition. Others absorbed the cost of the bonds, knowing these would be recouped if the Tariff Commission decides against the safeguard duties. After investigating the case, the Tariff Commission issued a report recommending not to impose the safeguard duties. The Commission said its investigation showed that completely built-up or CBU passenger cars and light commercial vehicles were not imported in increased quantities during the period of investigation, making the determination of serious injury to the domestic automotive industry moot and academic. The DTI duly ordered the dismissal of the petition for safeguard measures on the importation of passenger cars and light commercial vehicles. It also ordered that all cash bonds that have been imposed and previously collected on shipments of imported vehicles which entered or withdrawn from warehouses from February 1 be returned to the parties concerned. In its report to the DTI, the Tariff Commission also detailed the possible effects of not imposing safeguard duties on vehicle imports. It indicated that the petitioners, in essence, workers in industries dependent on the success of the domestic auto assemblers, stand to benefit from government-led programs meant to encourage the growth of the local auto industry, like the Corporate Recovery and Tax Incentives for Enterprise or CREATE Act and the Comprehensive Automotive Resurgence Strategy or CARS program. The Tariff Commission pointed out that such programs will continue to run and the benefits reaped even without the safeguard duties. It noted that the domestic auto sector believes the imposition of safeguard measures will not help the industry, which has been hampered by three developments. These are the adoption of the Euro 4 emission standards, which began in 2016 and was fully implemented in 2018, the implementation of the train law in January 2018, and the emergence of the COVID-19 pandemic in early 2020. The industry believes safeguard measures won't help it overcome those challenges but will only serve to raise the price of imports. The Tariff Commission said that without additional import duties, sales of the domestic industry would improve since customers will not be discouraged by increased prices of imported motor vehicles. Improved vehicle sales will help boost economic activity, which in turn will provide more opportunities for employment in the automotive sector. Imports will also foster competitive discipline and discourage possible abuse of market power, as consumers will have the option to choose between local and imported motor vehicles. The Tariff Commission report said the continuous improvement of road network, especially in Mega Manila, Metro Cebu, and other major economic hubs nationwide brought about by the government's Build program, can drive up demand for motor vehicles. This will put local car makers in a better position to produce more and innovate. Growth will likely attract other foreign producers to invest in the country and generate jobs in the industry, as well as in allied and downstream sectors such as parts and components makers.
The automotive industry has shown signs of rebounding from the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. It is hoped that removing the cash bond or provisional safeguard duties on vehicle imports will help hasten that recovery. That's our Motor Forum this week, courtesy of Suzuki Philippines.
I think my dad is secretly a superhero. He's the coolest, smartest, strongest person alive. No matter where we go, he always makes sure I feel safe. And he isn't afraid of anything. My dad likes to call that the power to lead. I call it his superpower.
Make long distance easy with the Mirage G4.
Be part of the 2021-2022 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2021, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2021-2022 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate, standard, and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2021. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
You're back with us here on Motoring Today. We now have this week's valuable motoring tips, starting off with some road safety reminders from Toyota Motor Philippines.
When alighting a vehicle, do not cross the street right away dahil baka masagasaan ka ng paparating na sasakyan. Mas safe kung pupunta ka muna sa gilid ng kalsada, look left at right, at saka tumawid kung safe na.
More motoring tips for you here on Motoring Today. Proper driver's demeanor while behind the wheel through Mitsubishi Motors Philippines.
Payong tsuper lang, kaibigan. Ako po si Ka Jojo Martin, isang kapwa nyo, tsuper. Bigyang prioridad ang mga pedestrian.
Matutong magbigay daan sa mga tumatawid na pedestrian, lalo na sa mga bata at matatanda. Tumigil sandali at huwag magmadali. Maging mapagpasensya upang makaiwas na rin sa disgrasya. Siguraduhin na buo ang iyong atensyon sa pagmamaneho at sa lahat ng nasa paligid mo.
Bukod sa iyong mga pasahero, huwag ring kalimutang irespeto ang mga tao sa labas ng sasakyan. Ito po si Ka Jojo Martin, payong tsuper lang, kaibigan, mula sa isang kapwa nyo tsuper.
Suzuki Ertiga.
Life is beating fast. Find what you're waiting for.
Seven-seater in style.
Be part of the 2021-2022 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2021, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2021-2022 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate, standard, and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2021. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Live extra.
With the Mitsubishi Xpander Cross.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. World of Motorsports is next. We start with the latest news and developments.
Andre Varquez of the Phoenix Post Racing Team emerged as champion of the Pro Class in Race 2 of Round 1 of the 2021 Formula V1 Virtual Cup. Varquez also set the fastest lap in topping the Pro Class. Coming in second place was Andika Rama Maulana of Legion of Racers, with Lance Padilla of the Food Cartel VRS earning the last step on the Pro Class podium. In the AM Class, Franz Metrillo of Stregowo VRS improved on his second place finish in Race 1 to claim the top step of the podium in Race 2. Race 1 winner Joshua David Marquez of Legion of Racers dropped to second. James Gatlabayan of Santiago Brewery Gempoy Racing was the new man on the AM Class podium after finishing third. Marquez set the fastest lap in the AM Class. The 2021 Formula V1 Virtual Cup continues on October 2 with Race 3 and on October 9 with Race 4. Toyota Gazoo Racing won its 4th consecutive Le Mans 24 Hours race at the Circuit de la Sarthe. It was also the first victory for the team of Mike Conway, Kamui Kobayashi, and Jose Maria Lopez in the new number 7 Toyota GR010 hybrid car. Toyota Gazoo Racing also scored a double podium finish at Le Mans with last year's championship team of Sebastian Buemi, Kazuki Nakajima, and Brendan Hartley, which came in second in the number 8 GR010 hybrid. Coming in third in the classic 24-hour endurance race was the number 36 Alpine car. Toyota Gazoo Racing's first 3 Le Mans 24-hour victories were accomplished with the Toyota TS050 hybrid car.
And that's this week's World of Motorsports. Motoring Today continues right after this break.
I think my dad is secretly a superhero. He's the coolest, smartest, strongest person alive. No matter where we go, he always makes sure I feel safe. And he isn't afraid of anything. My dad likes to call that the power to lead. I call it his superpower.
Be part of the 2021-2022 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2021, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2021-2022 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate, standard, and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2021. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Welcome back to Motoring Today. The auto industry now takes center stage.
GAC Motor Philippines is expanding operations in the country in more ways than one. Aside from launching 3 new models, the all-new GS4, the bulletproof GS8, and the GN8 Masters Edition, GAC Motor is moving to add new dealerships this year and 2 more early next year. But there is more. According to GAC Motor, its dealerships will begin offering after-sales services to vehicles from its competitors. These include preventive maintenance services, electric diagnostic, tune-up, recharging of Freon, wheel alignment, tire installation, muffler and exhaust repair installation, brake repair, change oil and lube, car wash, detailing, wash over, body repair and collision estimate, car paint job, and car disinfection. Services offered to non-GAC owners include insurance assistance and insurance claim estimate costing. GAC Motors is exploring other ways to promote its brand and services. It plans to partner with one of the biggest superstores in the country to let consumers experience what GAC Motor has to offer. The Toyota Corolla has reached the 50 million global sales mark, and it did so in just around 55 years since it was first launched in Japan. Today, Corolla is available in more than 150 countries worldwide, serving as either the well-loved family car for short and long commutes or as a fun, sporty vehicle. Now in its 12th generation, the Corolla remains both one of Toyota's most recognized models and one of the world's top-selling cars. Over the years, the Corolla has evolved, incorporating new developments in automotive technology, ergonomics, safety, and connectivity. All the while not forgetting what the original Corolla was meant to be, a vehicle that brings happiness and well-being to people and always exceeding expectation in terms of driving pleasure and performance, safety, aesthetics, technology, reliability, and durability. The Corolla now is offered with hybrid powertrains, reflecting the new demand for clean power, and a crossover called the Cross, reflecting the shift in customer preference toward crossovers and SUVs. The Mitsubishi Expander continues to record growth in sales since the local introduction of its latest variants last year. The 7-seater Mitsubishi Expander recorded sales of 1,207 units sold in July, its highest performance for the year and a 60% increase compared to units sold in June. Takeshi Hara, MMPC President and CEO, said Mitsubishi is very thankful for the continuous strong performance of the Expander, which makes it the best-selling MPV in the country. Takeshi-san assures its clients that Mitsubishi will continuously work to deliver great products and dedicated service and bring the brand closer to the hearts of the Filipinos. The Mitsubishi Expander is currently offered with a low down payment plan of 58,000 pesos through the Downpour Deals promo, or customers can avail of 0 DP and free 3 months amortization via the Save Up, Drive Up BPI promo.
Our car of the week is next on Showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee. The Toyota Vios, proudly made in the Philippines, is the country's best-selling passenger car. this edition of Showcase takes a look at the top-of-the-line variant of the latest iteration of the Vios, the 1.5G CVT.
Toyota Motor Philippines unveiled the latest update of its best-selling subcompact passenger car, the Vios, back in the middle of 2020, among the first vehicles to be launched digitally amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. The latest makeover of the Vios emphasized the low and wide stance of the four-door, five-seater sedan that stands 4,425mm long, 1,730mm wide, and 1,475mm tall, and with a 2,550mm wheelbase. The new look of Vios is an eye-catcher with its glossy black front grille flanked by faux side air ducts housing the round LED faux lamps. The top-of-the-line variant, the 1.5G CVT, gets 3-tiered LED headlamps with LED daytime running lights with line guide, LED rear combination lamps, color-keyed power retractable side view mirrors with integrated turn signal lights, chrome grip-type outside door handles, sporty 16-inch alloy wheels, and fin-type antenna. Getting into the G variant is quite easy and convenient with the smart entry system. The cozy interior is made more comfortable with the flat floor in the rear providing lots of legroom. The ergonomic dash features soft and elegant-looking materials and a sporty multi-information instrument panel. The leather upholstered steering wheel comes with controls for the audio system. The 7-inch touchscreen display for the entertainment system sits atop the large vents for the automatic air conditioning system. The infotainment system plays CDs and MP3 through 6 speakers and comes with a web link for iOS and Android devices with Bluetooth, USB, and aux connectivity. The G variant also comes with speed-setting power door locks and power windows. A push of the button starts the 1,496cc 4-cylinder 16-valve double overhead cam engine with dual VVTi and electronic fuel injection on the G variant. The engine generates 107 PS at 6,000 revolutions per minute and an impressive 140 Nm of torque that maxes out at 4,200 RPM. The G variant comes with either a 5-speed manual transmission or continuous variable transmission or CVT. The Vios 1.5G CVT gives a lot of added options to drivers as it comes with eco and sport drive modes, as well as paddles behind the steering wheel for the sequential shifter. With either MT or CVT, the G variant of the Vios is a fun, comfortable, and safe drive, especially with driver assist technologies that include vehicle stability control, hill start assist, which is great for steep inclines, an anti-lock brake system with electronic brake force distribution. Adding to the convenience of driving the G variant is the back monitor that facilitates safe parking in tight spaces. The G variant also comes with dual airbags for driver and front passenger seat, side airbags plus a curtain shield, and knee protector for the driver. All of the new Vios variants also comes with 3-point ELR seatbelts with pre-tensioner and force limiter with drive and front seat passenger, 3-point seatbelts for each of the 3 passengers in the rear, child lock protection, and high mount stop lamp. The G variants also feature the Toyota Vehicle Security System with alarm and immobilizer.
During the launch of the latest Vios iteration, Toyota said the model remains to be a practical and smart choice for individuals looking for a reliable daily driver that's easy to own, use, and maintain. It's hard to argue against that. That's our featured vehicle on this week's showcase, courtesy of Prudential Guarantee.
Drive worry-free with Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program with a free 24-hour nationwide roadside assistance included with your comprehensive auto insurance. Rest assured, we'll take care of you and your car wherever you are. Prudential Guarantee's auto insurance program, 100% worry-free driving.
I think my dad is secretly a superhero. He's the coolest, smartest, strongest person alive. Everywhere we go, he always makes sure I feel safe. And he isn't afraid of anything. My dad likes to call that the power to lead. I call it his superpower.
Be part of the 2021-2022 Autofocus People's Choice Awards, the only nationwide poll to determine the country's most popular car brands and models. It's easy. Log on to bit.ly/AFPCA2021, then vote for as many as 5 different models that you believe should become the 2021-2022 Autofocus Automobile of the Year in separate, standard, and premium luxury categories. Vote every day until November 30, 2021. The Autofocus People's Choice Awards. Who will win? You choose, you decide. Vote now.
Introducing the all-new Isuzu D-Max into new heights.
Make long distance easy with the Mirage G4.
We now have our segment that dwells on the wide array of motoring problems, not only in the metro, but all over the country as well. This is where we present problems referred to us or we ourselves see and hope to fully find solutions for. Our public service segment is next.
Getting the service of private motor vehicle inspection centers or PMVICs for vehicle testing and inspection has been controversial ever since it was first announced. More so when motor vehicle and motorcycle owners aired concerns about its reliability and efficiency based from their experiences. And this continues until today. In our report a few weeks back, netizens continue to criticize the system. One of them voiced his concern on the PMVIC standards in vehicle inspection, questioning how new motorcycles are failing the test, and how after so many tests, the results still show failed. The Department of Transportation has issued a memorandum circular where it assigns what it calls a Geographical Area of Responsibility or GAOR to authorize PMVICs. This way, LTO district and satellite offices will only accept emission and vehicle inspection certifications from authorized PMVICs that have been assigned GAORs, generally making it mandatory. As we see it, this has again resulted to more complications and criticisms. Transport Secretary R. Tugade has now directed the Land Transportation Office to hold the implementation of mandatory PMVIC testing until the issue on GAOR is fully resolved. Secretary Tugade stressed that ensuring a long-term and more modern and most effective vehicle inspection system is in place is what's more important.
That's our public service segment this week. And should you yourself encounter problems that need immediate attention, please feel free to contact us. See the details being flashed on your screen. And that's the week that was in motoring. Thank you for joining us. Also, please don't forget to follow us on social media.
Until next week here on Motoring Today, now on its 35th year of continuing service to the general motoring public with a lifelong commitment to promote road safety. On behalf of our dad, Butch Gamboa, I'm Ray Louie Gamboa.
And I'm Susie Gamboa. Happy
Happy
motoring!
motoring.